Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, Exploring Music Through Prince. This is going to be for part 2 of that huge discussion that I had on the There It Is podcast about the humor of Prince. This time we're going to be mostly talking about the music and some of the funnier moments that Prince has injected into his music. I am leading a lot of this conversation. It's a really, really fun one, and I talk a lot. But, you know, really in the end, we're all just having a fun time, just making each other laugh, and hopefully you have a fun time talking about some of these funny moments in Prince's music. If you're liking these sorts of things, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and hit the bell notification and all that noise. So let's jump into the conversation.
Well, now it's time to switch over to the music.
Yeah, let's talk about the music because... You know, I recently was in a group chat with Jill Jones, and we were all talking about her first album. And one of the things that she said to me really, like, it rung true so much about Prince and music and whatnot. And she said, like, there's so many people out there nowadays who are just like making music for music's sake, and there are not that many people who are having fun with it. Mm-hmm. Right. It's like they're making it as a product and to sell and whatnot. And they're not, like, Prince had the luxury of just being able to be in the studio with people that he liked performing with, and they would just have fun. Mm-hmm. And that's why he's got a billion tracks, because some of those were like, we're putzing around. Is that even a real song? Who knows? Just put it in the vault. You know, one day maybe something will come of it. But honestly, there's a lot of really cool songs that he injects humor directly. There's ones where he, you know, injects humor, you know, kind of indirectly, or maybe just a one line here or there. And, you know, some are that they're funny because of the reason that they were made. You know, there's also those sorts of songs. So I actually have some, you know, I think the first song that I heard that was like outwardly funny, I think, to me, is International Lover. Because in that song, he's basically just like, how many sexy plain puns can I make in this song? You know, like that's how I feel about that song. Like it's such a sexy song, but it's so funny. Like all of the lines, like the seduction 727, stuff like that. That was something I think I had mentioned it to you, Jason, before we started recording, is that you'll find that Prince will inject humor almost especially into those songs that are supposed to be sexy, because to him, you know, sex and humor, like, they're supposed to be together. You know, you can't take it completely seriously. It needs to have some humor in there.
Mm-hmm. Right. If you're rapping with trying to pick someone up, part of that is being charismatic and charming. And what better way to be charming than be funny?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes those one-liners will do it for you.
Our favorite one line we ever heard a guy say was, he looked at this woman and goes, "Got a minute?" And it totally worked. Jason and I were standing right there. We both were like in awe of him. We're like,
she was just like, yeah, actually, I do have a minute.
She did. This woman, we were both just like, wow.
I think one of the other ones from early on in his career, Movie Star, which I know we got on Crystal Ball later on, but Movie Star is like straight up just like a comedy play.
Let's see, body oil, check. Incense, check. Environmental records, double check. I'm gonna get some serious draws tonight, okay?
Yeah, that was one of mine too. Yeah, just because the lyrics are funny, the vocal performance is so funny. And of course, and I'm sure you're about to mention this, he originally wrote that for the time. And that's why he's so outlandish as the character, but he crushes that.
Oh yeah, and like makes fun of the perfume, the cologne, the Paco Rabbit, just there's just so many great lines, and like the whole song is just hilarious, and then the girl falls asleep on him at the end. Like, it's just hilarious. But that one's a really big one. Again, I kind of have them in order here a little bit. So, for me, Adore is a big one. And the whole song is not even that funny, but obviously everybody remembers maybe not the ride, that line.
Exactly what I was going to mention. Because what I love so much about that section is because he's being like, the song is so silky smooth. It's a silky smooth R&B song. And he's, you know, he is doing that charming thing, but then he slips into the really funny line delivery and funny line. Well, maybe not the ride. Then he takes it to church for a second.
Yeah.
And then he goes deeper into earnest, vulnerable sincerity. That's like tears in your eyes sincerity. And it's like, how did he do that?
Yeah.
How did he just go from like making me laugh and thinking, oh, he's so awesome, into, let me be serious, I want you to know how much I adore you. And it's like, oh, my heart every time.
But also, don't mess with the car, though.
Yeah, but don't mess with the car. Especially that Bentley. Oof.
Now, there are two songs that I have here on my list that are actually kind of, they're kind of similar to each other in the reason that they're funny. One is Bob George, which again is kind of also just kind of like a comedy play.
Yeah.
For someone who can't stand them TV dinners, you should eat enough of them motherfuckers.
You know, where he's just like, you know, seeing that rich motherfucker again, you know, the skinny motherfucker with the high voice. Just, you know, it's kind of sad and dark, but also it's very funny. It's very dark humor. And has like the police, you know, they're like, come out with your hands up, you know, like that stuff. You know, I love it when Prince falls into his white voice. Like it's just a thing that he did.
It kind of reminds me of Living for the City, you know, the skit and Living for the City. Yeah.
But the other song that is kind of on the opposite side of that is Xanali from Chaos and Disorder, where during that song, it's like a really awesome, like rock blues song. But halfway through the song, the police come to his house and they're just like, Chief, they're definitely masturbating. You know, like, you know, it's like, it's hilarious. So like, again, when he can just inject just direct humor into a song is just hilarious. Falling on the same thing as Movie Star, there's also Pretty Man, which is very similar, also a song written for Morse Day that he kind of kept. But there's one, whenever I think of Prince's humor, and then I have way more after this, but whenever I think of Prince's humor, there are actually two songs that come to my mind. And one is one of my all-time favorite Prince songs ever, and the other one is one I like, but it's just very funny. And that one, the second one is I Like Funky Music. Because if you're listening to I Like Funky Music, the lyrics and stuff aren't that funny, but but he's had Dougie Fresh throughout the whole album doing like his boom, you know, all that stuff. And during I Like Funky Music, you hear Prince go boom. Like on the record, you know, because he's like, I can't keep up. Like, I always find that hilarious every time I hear it. And then the other funny one, Marrying Kind. Which is, the Marrying Kind, it's one of my all-time favorite songs generally from him, but also it's just so funny. Like, I'm going to put you on that diet, you know, like, you know, just so many good lines in that song.
I'm going to put her on the same diet Missy went on. You know she eat too much tonight.
Yeah, isn't it that one that has she's gonna need a pillowcase?
Yes.
Something to put those tears on. I love that line.
Oh yeah. So those are some of my big ones. I think probably one other one I would mention is from the song Sarah. When one of my favorite lines from that is I
never raised my hand to you. No telling what my foot'll do. Watch out.
Like I like that line. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, so I guess what are some other really funny lyrics that you guys you know, like as well?
You go first, Rob.
Well, yeah, no, it's funny because off of Musicology, I like On the Couch. Just like make me, and just like the way he's like, that's so funny to me. Like,
Love Jones is on the TV again, baby. Oh.
It's just such a, it's like, and then I just like, just in general Musicology, like at the don't touch me, don't you ever touch Christmas. You
Oh,
know?
yes.
That's just like such a father in the 60s or 70s, you know, like,
oh yeah,
especially because kids don't understand now. My kids, like, they listen to music on Alexa. And like they don't understand, like my dad's like stereo system was very expensive and very you know, he had a huge record collection, a lot of, you know, really amazing, he had a lot of amazing R&B 45s, still does, and you know, like, but it was like, do not touch them. Like the only one I was allowed to play was the Blues Brothers, their live album Briefcase.
I grew up with the Blues Brothers as well. Yeah.
My parents basically have the Blues Brothers band. Like my mom plays sax, my dad plays bass. I grew up in the Partridge Family, so like that's why I play guitar. Yeah, yeah. Really, Jason can tell you.
Yeah. Played several times.
Yeah, and you see us argue too, because we're my dad and I are more like the Gallagher brothers, but we can be. So
that's not the bass line.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. I'm not the best human being sometimes. So, but you know, even like when I think about some of the hits, like I have always kind of found the really humorous, as much as, you know, it's so, I feel so basic saying it, but I just love Let's Go Crazy so much. And it's just one of the, I love, like, that's a song I love to get to play, and like love that solo. Like I love to get to do that one. Just the intro to that is funny. Like, it's just, you know, like I've always took it as like this gospel minister starting off. And it's such a funny idea to like start like Purple Rain with that. And just like, I don't know, it's just something about it.
Electric word, life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else.
The, you know, Doctor, everything will be all right. You know, it's just, I think there's a lot of humor in that song. And, you know, just like Slip on the Banana Peel, you know, it's a funny, you know, even just like the, you know, and I've always, you know, and I always kind of thought about it like more of a sexual thing, but then it's like, well, no, maybe it's because she felt, you know, but it's definitely double entendre. So I don't know. I mean, and just like one of my favorite ones of the songs, I still think it's funny, is You Sexy Motherfucker, because that
was one of mine too.
Yeah, it's just
The funniest part to me in that song is when they start doing the jazzy breakdown, like sexy motherfucker shaking that ass, shaking that ass. So funny. Sexy motherfucker shaking that ass, shaking that ass, shaking that ass. Sexy motherfucker shaking that ass. I was howling when I first heard that.
Yeah, the funny part for me with Sexy MF was that I feel like the whole song is kind of like, it has that title as a joke. Yes. Because if you listen to the lyrics is about like, I don't even want to have sex with you because I need to get closer to you on a spiritual level, because we need to be like cosmic and all that stuff. Also, by the way, you're a sexy motherfucker. You know, it's just like, like, wait a minute. Like the title is that you said that has nothing to do with the rest of the lyrics, you know? So that's also kind of the funny thing. It was also a single. It was the first single off of the album, which I find hilarious as well.
That is so awesome. It's just so awesome. Like just the audacity to say, play this. And then, you know, even like Little Red Corvette, like there's a lot of great allusions in that, just really funny. Like obviously, like, you know, she had, you know, pocket full of Trojans, or, you know, it's like, and then like, but just like the way you like, I like just the way you parked your car sideways. I knew it wasn't going to last. It's just like, that's such a cool, it's so funny. One. And it's just like, like you think about it, it's like, if you saw somebody park like an asshole, you're going to be like, this person's going to be an asshole, but I still want to go out with them. Like, you know. I guess I should know by the way you parked your car sideways. I don't wouldn't last. It's like I don't really trust guys that like, and if you do this, I'm sorry. If they people that reverse into every parking space, I'm like, do you
cop? Where are you going?
Like, do you really think you're gonna have to like evade? Like, you know. So,
I don't mind a pull through. But backing up,
like taking the time to do. Yeah, it is. It's such a, I'm like, whatever.
The way you park your car sideways, all the way at the end of the parking lot.
Yeah. No. Or she probably like parked in a handicap spot, like based on that song. Like,
There's no, Jason, you haven't given any. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Yeah, no. Yeah, we mentioned
more
movie star.
Oh, yeah, we would assume you would.
Yeah, like all the ones we've mentioned are definitely on my list, especially movie star for both like the lyrics and the vocal performance. I'm going to mention Get Off. I love Get Off. My favorite part is the
we
you want to eat ribs. I'll tell you, I don't serve ribs. Still on. I heard the rip when you sat down, and then the scream coming right after that.
Yeah.
So funny to me. So fun. The whole song though, and it just like there's an essence to that song of like, I'm not really taking myself too seriously here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Cream is another one like that. It's like funny and charming. And when he did the VH1 performance and he's playing it on acoustic, he stops in the middle and says,
You know I wrote this while I was looking in the mirror, right?
like, oh, come on. So great. Speaking of so funny, I love that line. I don't know why in Vicki Waiting.
Yes.
The why is your organ so small? I didn't know I was playing in a cathedral.
Vicki didn't laugh at all.
I love that line. There's something that's just fun about that song to me. And also, speaking of fun, Starfish and Coffee. What a sweet, fun, whimsical song. I just love it. And it's that kind of humor. And of course, Kiss, hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
At your age, not your shoe size. I mean, come on.
Not your shoe size. That's why whenever we do that one, it's always my favorite to get to repeat that line. And then whenever we do it too, I always say like, you don't have to watch Dynasty, but I always say, but it helps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then in later like performances, he would replace it with like, you don't have to watch Desperate Housewives or stuff like that. He would always replace it.
You don't have to watch Jersey Shore to have an attitude.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He said Sex in the City.
Exactly, Sex in the City.
I like
when I saw him, he said Desperate Housewives.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's about What year did you see him?
97.
Oh wow. Oh. Another one. This one's kind of foul, but it's funny. Is 18 and over? That song's.
Well, that one's just a listing of like sexual positions. So like.
Hi, yo, Silver. It's the Bone Ranger. I'll freak you to the marrow.
But I always.
There's more than one. White guy.
That song to me is just funny because it was so audacious. When I first heard it, I was like, come on, like this is so ridiculous. 18 and over, I wants to bone you. I was like, oh, I gotta tell the fellas about this. And then another one, and it's mainly for the vocal performance, is Pink Cashmere. Towards the end when he's like, because he's so big with the performance, it's kind of funny, but the like that, the way he hits Al there, it's almost like he got hit. like listen back on that part of it towards the end, hits it so hard that it's hysterical to me every time I listen to it. I would love to see him. I wish that song had gotten a video where he was being the character that is singing, that is doing that. Because it would have been so funny to just see him be that. Like he's like that in Under the Cherry Moon, but I would have loved to see him do it with that song.
Yeah.
Those are all mine.
Well, and I think there's like sometimes there's like unintentional comedy too, or like you go back and you look at it, it's a little silly because like one of Jason and I's favorite things to say to women was like, your face is jamming.
Yeah.
Slamming. Yeah. Like, it's just like such a weird thing to say about a woman, but it's like so funny to think about. Like that's like a pickup line.
Your face is jamming and your body is hecka slamming.
Yeah, that sounds funny too because he does have that lyric of you know, it was like I didn't know I said that. Like, did I say out loud? My face is red.
Yes.
Also off of that album, Rob, this is one that I always reference with Rob, is fall in love, get married, have a baby. We'll call him Nate.
Yeah.
Boy.
If it's a boy.
If it's a boy.
Yeah.
If it's a boy.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Should have named him.
It's like, I'll just call him Nate anyway. Who cares?
Yeah.
I have two others on my. Well, I have a couple others, but two that I wanted to mention were kind of humorous based on like why they were made, which within context makes the song funny. So like My Name is Prince is not actually that funny of a song, except that it's actually a satire on how the world viewed him.
My name is Prince, and I am funky. My name is Prince, the one and only.
I'm going to come to town and I'm going to take your daughter and all that stuff. Like, it's funny, but also he's making fun of you people, right? Like, it's kind of hilarious. And then the other song, which is kind of similar to that, is Rock and Roll's Alive and It Lives in Minneapolis. Because Lenny Kravitz wrote a song called Rock and Roll is Dead. So Prince said, no, it's not. Rock and roll is alive. It lives here. So that song was like entirely as like a joke comeback to Lenny Kravitz.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah, which makes the song, I mean, the song is already amazing, but it just makes it that much better to know that it was like, nah, Lenny, you're wrong, So.
Isn't the song La 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 He He one that was written because someone said he couldn't make a song out of La 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 He He?
That's exactly it. It was just based on a bet that he couldn't write a song called La 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 He He He. And then Scarlet Pussy, if I recall, was written about Sheena Easton's cat. So it was like, the whole thing of like, I can write a song about anything. It really was true most of the time for Prince.
Yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting a couple others now I'm thinking about it. Now we're like getting more into it because now I'm thinking like Chlorine, Bacon Skin is a wild song, and Irresistible Bitch. Like,
oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, there's some good. He's got a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Now, one of the ones that I definitely had on here, because the song itself isn't that funny, but he has like a funny like skit on it. It's a song called Peace from not Chocolate Invasion, the other one. Slaughterhouse. Yeah. Where it starts off and he's like got the voice of like an old drunk dude, and he's just like, the artist known as Prince, formerly known as Prince. You have to say every syllable. You can't just say the artist. You have to say the artist formerly known as Prince.
Every syllable must be heard.
It's just like he was just having fun with it. But anyway, I put that one on the list too, just because of that little section at the beginning and the end of the song where he's just like drunkenly saying you can't say just the artist.
He's got some other stuff like that he throws in there, like from Rainbow Children, like, oh, I wish he played funky like he used to. Like this.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I got to put that on my list here.
This is funky, but I just wish he'd play like he used to. Oh, scraggly hair, some of
Because that's hilarious, yes.
Yeah.
That's from the Everlasting Now. There's another one, too, which was off of Cream. It was off of the Cream maxi single. And there's like, I don't know the name of the track. I don't remember. But it was just like a little instrumental, like guitar little thing. Mm-hmm. And like when it's done, at the end of it, you hear Tony M come in and go, what the hell does that have to do with Cream? Like,
the hell that got to do with Cream?
Like it had nothing to do with Cream, but it was on the Cream maxi single.
Yeah.
And if you can believe it, we went on for probably about another hour after this. The whole conversation was about 2 hours, and I have presented you about 50 minutes of that 2-hour conversation. There is a ton more, so if you want to hear it, don't forget to go check out the There It Is podcast. I'll put a link in the description to this episode, but I was also on it 2 other times, so go ahead and listen to all of it, because they're great guys over there, and they run a tight ship. If you want to support support me and my music, go to straysoftheworldmusic.com. You can also check out the Strays of the World YouTube channel here. Otherwise, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and the bell, and check out the Patreon, become a member, all that stuff. And may you live to see the dawn. I love you all. I have a few more of these interview type videos coming, so keep an eye out.